This 1820 Federal-style dwelling was built by artisan Isaiah Davenport for his crew and his growing household, which included his wife, 7 children, and 9 enslaved workers. It was his family home until his death in 1827 at the age of 43, which he died from yellow fever. His wife, Sarah, had no choice but to convert it into a boarding house to help make ends meet. It was during this time that the Davenports also lost quite a few of their children to the yellow fever, and many of the tenants that were living there contracted it as well. Sarah lived in the residence until 1840 when she sold it to a family from South Carolina. The house remained in their hands for the next 109 years. They sold it in 1940, but they had abandoned it in 1930 because it became so run down. As time passed, the once stately home in a fashionable neighborhood became a run-down rooming house in a seedy part of town. Even its advanced state of neglect, New Deal surveyors recognized the architectural significance of the home when they identified it for the Historic American Building Survey in the 1930s. Threatened with demolition in 1955, a group of community-spirited citizens joined forces to purchase the Davenport House. In 1955, the Davenport House became the office for Historic SAVANAH Foundation as well as a family service agency. In March 1963, the first floor of the house was restored and opened to the public as a museum. Years later, the second and third floors were opened as well, and the Historic SAVANAH Foundation moved its offices to another building. The fourth floor, on the other hand, still remains closed. The Davenport House is unique among haunted houses in the South in that one of its resident ghosts is a cat. Soon after the Davenport House was turned into a museum, some of the first tourists swore that they had seen the ghost of a beautiful little girl playing with toys on the 4th floor, and she was dressed in elegant Victorian clothes. Psychic investigators were called to examine the haunting activity, and they concluded that the ghost did not mean to scare the visitors intentionally and was only looking for a playmate. Sightings of the little girl became so frequent that the 4th floor of the Davenport House was completely closed. The identity of the cat and the little girl have never been determined, but the Davenports did have a daughter, and many did pass in the house of yellow fever. So if you're ever in Savannah, stop by the Davenport Museum and take a tour. Maybe even bring a few toys for the little girl and her cat. Until next time, let's see what's out there.